Cape Town's homeless people are set to get a boost in funding this year. About 27 million rand will be used to focus on the city's safe places and winter readiness programs and education. For more on this, I'm joined now via Zoom by the city's Mayco member for Community Services, Health, that's Zahid Badroodien. Thank you so much for joining me, Zahid. I don't know what happened in the last few seconds that you and I spoke. You are now cutting off a little bit. So let's ask you to sort out your picture as we start the conversation. It's cutting off the bottom of your chin. So if you could perhaps just tilt it down. That's much better, Zahid. So just tell me about this program. How much are you investing in trying to improve the conditions for Cape Town's homeless people?
The City of Cape Town has an extremely robust and active social development approach to working with homeless communities across the city. This is not anything new that we've rolled out. We've been doing this for the past few years since I've been the Mayco member in this position. But what has been happening is the support that we've been offering to organizations, to shelters, the expansion of our safe spaces has increased substantially over the past 3 years. Just this last council meeting, the council approved almost 16 million rand set aside to open up job opportunities for homeless people in the City of Cape Town. And in addition to that, we have an immense support program in terms of granting aids that we offer to any number of organizations that work in the city with our homeless community. But in addition to that, over the last 3 years, we've also been able to open up 3 new safe spaces in the City of Cape Town that has introduced just under 1,000 temporary beds for our homeless community. This is all important in terms of finding a sustainable approach to working with homeless people in order to find a more permanent exit from homelessness. We know that encouraging people to go into shelters is not the silver bullet to solving our homeless crisis in the city. But what we also appreciate, more importantly, that through partnership, we are able to decrease the number of homeless people that we find on our streets if they're willing to accept the social development offers that we make available to them.
So that was the first chance that I was giving you to just outline what the program is about, in fairness to you. But Zahid, you will appreciate, with my 2 decades of experience in journalism, my spin detector should be well and truly trained by now. Is this not you as a city trying to spin me, to spin us, after all these incidents that have been reported recently, the bylaws that have been criticized in the city of Cape Town that, some say criminalize homelessness and basically have led to raids in the city where people's belongings were being taken and people were being moved and being forced to accept offers of shelter, etc., etc. Are you not trying to spin the story?
Absolutely not. I've said this over and over again to any number of people that I engage, that the City of Cape Town doesn't fine people for being homeless. What the bylaws do, though, is to say that any transgression in the sense that you may block a public open space, you urinate in public, make fires in public, or any other components of the bylaw do constitute violations, and they will be managed in accordance with the regulations within that particular document. This doesn't mean that a homeless person, by virtue of being homeless, is fined. Absolutely not. If you and I urinate in public, make a fire in public, live in a normal, formal house, we will be fined as well. So I want to dispel the notion that we're fining homeless people. I also want to emphasize that before any law enforcement officer, any uniformed official in the City of Cape Town engages with a homeless individual, our social development department would have had at least 6 different engagements with homeless people in the city, in whatever hotspot they may find themselves. Our street people unit will engage with them to offer them assistance into rehabilitation services that we run as a city for free. We will offer them job opportunities, help with IDs, because we know that that's critical to accessing job opportunities. all of this happens prior and long before law enforcement has any engagement whatsoever with homeless people. But unfortunately, this is not mentioned by the various political parties or even by the various media houses. So definitely not a spin. We have a robust social development approach, and we will continue to roll that out with the increase in the support that we currently have.
Lastly, Zahid, how much uptake do you expect from the city's homeless people? Given that some of the concerns sometimes are that, you know, the locations of some of these safe places will not be ideal for someone who just wants to be close to the city centre, as close as possible, to be able to, during the day, be looking for a job or any other economic opportunities. And if these are not located with that thinking in mind, you may find that there will not be that much uptake, and as a result, you will not be solving the problem that you're trying to solve.
Absolutely. Our two safe spaces are actually located in the center of our city. We have another one in Bawel, again in the economic hub of our city. At the same time, the city is in the process of identifying other city facilities that can be converted to safe spaces in areas where there are hotspots where individuals may be looking for any form of employment. So we're very well aware of that. And so our efforts are guided to trying to identify well-placed safe spaces so that individuals can at the same time access the social services that we make available, the social services that are the first encounter and engagement with any homeless person in the city. But I'm also very mindful that over the past few months, there has been a decline, unfortunately, in the number of people accepting social development assistance from the city of Cape Town. This as a result of the very many court cases that we find, sadly, against the city, but also ongoing efforts by organizations to insist that homeless people should remain on the streets. And I say this because the city very clearly has launched and drives what we call the Give Dignity campaign, where we ask our residents to work directly with shelters and to not give inadvertently donations and whatever the case may be to homeless people on the streets. We want homeless people to access shelter. We want homeless people to access our social development approaches, but we can only do that in partnership with the organizations that we work with and with our residents as well. And so my appeal is to our residents in Cape Town to support the Give Dignity campaign so that more people can accept the social development office that we have.
Zahid Badroodien, thank you so much for your time. If you pull it off, it may make a big difference in the dignity of the people that you're trying to serve, the homeless people on the streets of Cape Town, in the city of Cape Town.